Nearly ready for takeoff. We just got a few more buttons and things to push, making sure the landing gear is ready and the flaps are ready for takeoff.
Okay, right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, thank you very much. Got some more people still coming on. That's fine, and we are recording as well, as we always do. So thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Got a very different structure to what we would normally do on a Wednesday evening, which is about training. But there's been a number of community members who have requested from the core within the community members within Gift of Legacy to hear what the core would like to say about recent comments and allegations that are posted on the Telegram groups. So if you haven't seen any of that, it hasn't been on all of the groups on the main 3 Telegram groups of the official ones, but it has been put into various. So if you're not 100% certain of what is these allegations, you maybe want to listen in, because you're going to learn a lot about who the core leaders are anyway. I've definitely done that in the last few days. It's extremely unfortunate that some of the community have been brought into conversations and also have been brought and heard allegations which have been laid in open forums around the credibility of the leaders, known as the Core 4, and as well as the sustainability of Gift of Legacy by one specific member by the name of Jacques Marais. While this goes against the ethos and the whole spirit of Gift of Legacy, the core would really like to put their perspectives across to the community, to put everybody's minds at ease, share the vision of what's a Gift of Legacy is, where they're going, what the primary focus is. So we're here this evening to hear what they have to say. My name's Tim Wagner, and they've asked me to come in, mediate a discussion and a question and answer session, as there's a lot of things that they felt in their heart needed to be shared. What I've really enjoyed about the leadership right from the beginning is their openness and frankness in communicating. And I hope you as individually, members of Gift of Legacy, you're going to hear and you're going to feel this across the Zoom, wherever you are in the world. So I've got my little notes here on the side to make sure that we do cover as many points as possible to give everybody the opportunity to speak. And that means, as mediator, I'm going to be asking some questions. I'm a member of the community. This was affecting me as well. I also wanted to know what was going on. Many of you know that I have stepped up and do presentations and training, which is my passion. So I'm here as a member to also find out what is actually going on. And I'm going to start with Chris, where the story we've heard, Chris, your and Candace's story about the birthing of Gift of Legacy over a year ago now. I think when those first discussions happened with the precursor program, when issues that happened there where it was American based and it wasn't going to be able to be sustainable, you had strong discussions with Candace. We've heard those stories, but it wasn't just 2 minds. There were multiple important minds that got together in collaboration, not just the 2 of you. So I didn't understand, and then I believe it's important to share the community, that you then introduce what are known as, at the time, as the Core 5, who were the 5 main brains that came forward in collaboration. If you can start by just introducing who those 5 or the 4 main ones are, what their roles were, and then we're going to be hearing from each of them, just so that you can learn a little bit more perhaps about who these people are that came up with the whole, conceptualized it all of Gift of Legacy, and are now championing going forward.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim. Yeah, a lot of people have heard our story of how we started a year ago and how we met on the precursor program. So basically the way everything happened was we were told that we could not continue on the precursor program, being USA based, and we had built a community of over 10,000 people in the precursor program, and we felt responsible, and we got together a core group of people, Core 5 at that stage, which was Jacques Marais, myself, Candace, Hercules, and Jenny. And I just want to use the word co-create right in the beginning. Not one person can ever create something as beautiful and as complicated as Gift of Legacy. So that's anything in life. It never takes one person to create anything. And we all got together to co-create this beautiful program. And we all had different functions. The first role was, if I look at Jacques, his role was to liaise with the developer. And we were kind of told that we must stick to our lanes, and we weren't allowed to have any communication with the developer at all. We didn't even know what his name was. But you know what? We trusted the process. We always kept our eye on the bigger picture. And then myself and Candace, as you guys know, we were keeping the community together. In that time, we were doing presentations, and we were doing trainings every Saturday. I think Candace and I probably spent just about 1 million hours together on Zooms. Everybody can remember that. And that was an amazing journey, keeping this beautiful community together and keeping everybody's hopes alive and keeping everybody's dreams alive. Then Jenny and Hercules played a massive role, because they came from one of the structures within the precursor program, where Hercules built over shared the opportunity with over 180 people in his own right. So if anybody knows how to work with people, it's Hercules. And he'll share with you a bit later a little bit about himself and his wife, Erica, who spent 14 weeks putting the migration together, which we'll also touch on. So that, from an asset point of view, Hercules played a massive role. And we won't even go into the GGM, which is the Gracious Giver Movement, where if anybody knows Hercules, Hercules has got the biggest heart I've ever met. One of the most transparent and most amazing person I've ever met in my life. And Jenny, special Jenny. Let me tell you, Jenny in the background. You know, dynamite comes in small packages. And let me tell you something, from a passion point of view, and Jenny coming from a therapist background, really knows how to work so beautifully with people. And Jenny had a big role in, guys, you know the slogan called Color Your World? Guess who came up with that? Jenny came up with Color Your World. Jenny, thank you so much for that. And putting the beautiful videos together, and we all co-created putting the presentations together and the terms and conditions and everything that we had ready for launch, we co-created together. So basically, as everybody knows, we were meant to launch in October. That didn't happen. We just kept getting told the program isn't ready. Why is it not ready? No, stick to your lanes. I'm busy with the developer. We're meant to launch again in November. We're meant to launch October, then November. It came to December, where the developer, which I actually found out was a friend of mine that I'd known for over 4 years. He phoned me up one Sunday evening and said, Chris, we've got a little bit of a problem. We cannot launch Gift of Legacy. So I said, why not? He said, because the last 4 months, I have not received one flow chart or diagram or any type of information from Jacques to launch the program. And I thought, oh my word. I phoned Hercules on that Sunday night. Hercules put a message on our core group, our WhatsApp group, and saying to Jacques, your care of duty, you have not followed through your care of duty with the developer to bring forth this program. And from there, the group was dismantled. We tried to get onto a Zoom call, and we couldn't, because we could not communicate with him at all. And the developer was ready for soft launch. He said, guys, in the background, without you guys even knowing, I was writing a very simple program based on the precursor program. Thank God the developer had the insight to do that, because he did not receive any information to put Gift of Legacy together. We did the soft launch. It was total chaos. And then from there, basically what happened was we had a many-hour Zoom call at that time in December. That's when Jacques stepped back and said, okay, guys.
So this is sorry. So I want to keep a timeline, a context here. Initially, discussions were happening at the beginning of sort of June, July. Everybody, each core, and we're going to be hearing a little bit from each of them now, had a role and responsibility. As time went on and each was focusing on their own areas, if anybody's done project management before, you understand that each person is responsible for taking their own piece, giving feedback and moving forward, but identifying by the time it came to December, when a big meeting at the beginning of December was called. That's the point where you're at, saying we've got to get together, because what we're hearing is we've got some problems. So before we go further from this, because now we're going to be hearing about and from each individual core leader, I just want to quickly cover and ask each to introduce yourselves, just so give the community a bit of background in your expertise in business, and why you felt that you're a person who could actually do this, something which had never been done before. Let's be honest, this has never been created before. So, Chris, I'm going to come back to you. Let's jump over maybe to who wants to go first? Hercules, you're going to introduce yourself quickly and a bit of a background.
Good evening. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody that has taken the time to join us on the Zoom. My name is Hercules. Viljoen is my surname, for those that are not aware. And I'm married to my lovely wife, Erica, who has really been a pillar of strength throughout this co-creation of GL until today. We have 4 children between us and 1 grandchild, a beautiful boy. His name is Wilder Kenneth Hercules Con, and he was born on the 1st of March, 2022. I have enjoyed a 34-year-long career in construction project management before leaving at the end of November in 2021 to commit myself fully to what I'm currently doing. I have a qualification in advanced project management through the University of Cape Town, and my last project that I have managed as a senior project manager, which was a multi-billion rand project, by the way, I was responsible for 2,500 people at the peak in my team, reporting to me directly and indirectly. My career of 34 years has taught me a wide range of skills and has prepared me for what I believe the best years of my life. Currently full-time committed to GGM, Graciously Giving Movement, a non-profit company, and responsible for the funding of the further development, care and maintenance of Gift of Legacy. I have accepted the responsibility that came with this decision. It gives me great pleasure to fulfill my role and contribute what I can to ensure that 500,000 plus people within 6 months of launching Gift of Legacy may enjoy the potential of receiving abundantly, not only now, but for years to come. I just want at this point to thank everybody for their unwavering support and for the belief that you have in Gift of Legacy and in us as the core leaders. I can assure you, one and all, of my ongoing and unwavering support to ensure Gift of Legacy remains intact with integrity for decades to come. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing, and I appreciate you sharing about your background. I had no idea of that, and that really does give credibility to the important role that you play within GL. So the next person who's known least about, I suppose, on here would be Jenny. You want to come forward there?
Hi, Tim. Thank you so much for this opportunity for us to introduce ourselves. And yes, let me address that quickly. You do know the least about me probably, and you probably see the least of me. And that is not how I would have wanted it. I would have really wanted to be up there and out there with everybody. But I've had to take a little bit of a step back since being diagnosed with breast cancer in February this year. It's not really a diagnosis that any of us are prepared for. And it really threw me way off kilter. It had spread into my lymph nodes, so it was at a serious stage. And I really had to take a step back from commitments. I do still operate with the core leaders. I will always be there and be present. But I do want to thank the core leaders for giving me the time to focus on recuperating and claiming back my health. So yeah, I probably have less hair than the balding men on this call at the moment, hence the turban. But it's been an amazing journey so far. I've actually enjoyed the journey, which sounds ludicrous, but today was my last chemo session. So we have a massive celebration coming up just now. We're going to have a glass of Indian tonic water or something to celebrate. And that's first base camp, and we still have 2 more base camps to reach, and we'll be ending the journey only in April next year. So I will hope to, by the end of this year, get a little bit more involved, but it is another tough week coming up with surgery going forward. I just want to say thank you to everybody for their thoughts, their prayers, and their support for those that have been in the know. And I do want to assure the rest of the community that I have my hand in the GL matters as much as I possibly can. And thank you, everybody, for your love, your care, and your patience. So a little bit about me. Yes, I'm a wife to an absolutely incredibly supportive husband who has really just stood by me, and he's my rock. I have 3 two-legged children, and I have more fur kids than I can mention on this call. So I'm a very busy mommy. We stay on a small holding in the south of Johannesburg. So from horses, dogs, cats, geese, chickens, the whole lot, you name it, they're here. My professional background is in the medical field. I'm an occupational therapist, a businesswoman, and in the latter years to present, I've developed a particular interest in the alternative health and wellness industry. Apart from running a successful practice for 30 years, I extended my passion for helping children and their families into a larger scale, and I founded a multidisciplinary education center where I provided many services that I ran and worked in as many of them as I could, including a reading lab, a baby care center, 2 nursery schools, a home school, an aftercare center, and a school transport service, while still running my private practice. So yeah, needless to say, I retired myself at the age of 50, which was about 5 years ago. So I'm giving away my age here for no other reason than that I totally lost myself and I needed to find me. I realized that life, that there was more to life than just the rat race. And now, like Tim, I am successfully unemployable. I don't know if it's a problem or a good thing, Tim. I dabbled a little bit in the networking platforms and networking space, and I found there is indeed a better way. So now I sound like Eric Worre for those of you who listen to those motivational chats that he has. And yeah, I really realized that on this type of platform, I could impact and inspire, and that is what my life's goal, vision, passion, mission is to inspire people. And I realized I could do this on a much larger scale with a much bigger community and platform of people. So I declined my first invitation to have a look at a gifting platform. I thought it was some sort of game, and I just wasn't interested. I was really wanting to work hard at helping inspire people and helping them reach their dreams. But at the second exposure, the penny dropped and I saw the vision. And I became really, really excited about gifting. And well, yeah, the rest of the story, that is just starting off in the precursor program with our beautiful, beautiful core leadership. I was actually engaged in about 4 other platforms with Jacques Marais. I was doing all his presentations for him across 5 platforms. So it was very busy presenting 3-4 times a day, sometimes up to 7 times a day doing presentations. So it was really, really hectic. And then we obviously launched and birthed and co-created this absolutely incredible platform of Gift of Legacy. And I think we'll hear a little bit more about what happened to us from there. I'm going to now hand it back to you, Tim. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jenny, and strength to you in your challenging journey. And we look forward to hearing a lot more of you and joining the presentation team soon. I only hope. So thank you very much there. I'm going to then hand over to Candace. Most of us know Candace, but just from a quick background, a reminder who Candace is.
Hi, everybody. So lovely to be here. And I'd also just want to express my gratitude. It's been a rough week, but with all of the troubles, there's so much beauty that lies beyond that. And if you just see the bigger picture, it's always just so beautiful to look back and see all the lessons learned. So thank you to all of those people that have provided those lessons for me. Most of you know that I come from a hairdressing industry business. I had my own salon for 11 years, but about 9 years into my career, I had a back injury that prevented me from doing any hair. I was actually paralyzed for 3 weeks. I don't go into too much detail about that. But in that time, I had a lot of time to figure life out. And I realized that it wasn't for me. I was killing my body. Having that business and running it the way that I did killed my passion. And I was just stuck in a job that I really, really didn't enjoy anymore. So I looked at doing digital marketing. So I studied digital marketing, which involves obviously, Facebook, social media, but then also the back end. So connecting MailChimp to funnels, building websites. So I actually do have a little bit of technical knowledge. And through that, I was able to create amazing turnover for my salon, having not been able to bring in turnover doing hair. And because of that and the way that it grew, I was able to sell it just during COVID, actually. So I thought that I was going to have a career of digital marketing and just suddenly realized that social media wasn't really where I wanted to go in my quest to save the world. And when gifting came into my life, I just knew that that's where my purpose lies for now. I mean, anything can change in the future, but for right now, I always say I am here to anchor abundance consciousness into the planet. And I am a custodian of Gifted Legacy, and I will do whatever it takes to keep it safe, because you all know that Chris and I have always had the community at heart. And I will remind everybody that for 5 months, we had amazing attendance on Zooms. Nobody had spent a single cent. All we had was the love and the faith of the community, which is something that I've never experienced before. And even though we postponed and we postponed and we postponed, we were still able to keep the community together. So I'm just going to end off there because we can carry on with that story a little bit.
We can do. Thanks a lot, Candace, for sharing and giving us a reminder. I'm not ignoring Valissa. She comes into the picture a little bit later. So Chris, just a few seconds overview. We're going behind time here and we've got a lot to cover. I don't want to go over our time slot too much. Just a very quick overview, your business background. You've always been an entrepreneur. So take it from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, those of you that haven't heard my story very quickly, I started work at a very young age, the age of 16, to help support my mom. So I missed out on a lot of school. And I did get my matric at the end of the day, but I started working at a very young age. And then I went into the restaurant industry. From there, I got into the corporate world and I studied marketing. And through the company I worked for, I've actually got my marketing degree, which took me 3 years to get through the Johannesburg University. It used to be called Randolph Advanced University at that stage. I then also studied advertising. I had my advertising diploma and I did all this after hours in the evening. Then at the age of about 24, I got involved in network marketing, and it's the first time I ever got exposed to network marketing. Absolutely love the concept. I love the idea of working with people and helping people. And that's my passion, is helping people. And from there, I did that for a couple of years, built a team of a couple of thousand people back in the dark ages. That's over 20 years ago. And from there, I went into direct sales for over 10 years. And in that 10 years, the appointments that I had was over 15,000 appointments over a 10-year period. And you learn a lot about people. There's 15,000 brand new people that I met over 10 years. From there, I went into my own business. I designed and patented a children's toy car called Whistle Racer. You blow the back of it and it spins a little turbine. And from there, the last decade, I started building the business. And I was supplying my product to over 25 countries around the world. And I got to the tipping point just before COVID kicked in. Got massive order from a customer in Germany, and everything got delayed there because of COVID kicking in. So the whole toy industry came to a standstill. I had to find something else to do, and a cryptocurrency network marketing company crossed my path. We've all heard of the company called MTR, and I joined as a normal participant, normal affiliate. I had nothing ever to do with management. I just joined as a normal member as everybody else, and we all know what happened there. That went belly up, and I lost a lot of money, as did a couple of thousand, 250,000 people lost their money. I was broken. I didn't want anything to do with network marketing. I wanted nothing to do with building teams and people. I was done. You know, you get to the point where you say, I'm done. And then beginning of last year, precursor program crossed my path, and I thought, what a load of rubbish. How on earth can you put such a little bit of money into something and receive that amount of money in gifts? I was skeptical, very skeptical. But there's one thing that did get my attention, is that gifting had been around for, over 50, 60 years in the Western world, which I didn't know about. And so I took 3 or 4 days, I made the decision, I joined. And in a very short time frame, I went through all the cycles, I went through the boards, and was absolutely loving it. And then we all know what happened in June last year, that we couldn't go any further, and then hence the birth of GL. And the last year of building up to that point, up to now, has been a journey of note. And I must say, I've worked really hard my whole life in everything I've done, but hands down, I've never, ever, ever worked this hard in my life before. Maybe close on sitting on burnout at the moment, but it's exciting, and this is my passion.
It is. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So we've covered introducing where each person, each of the core, so you can hear that background a little bit, and that there's some credibility and historical experience which they've brought forward to ensure that what we've got going. So Chris has very nicely sort of led the timeline back to that point in December that he started to speak about, where now it was seen that meeting the deadlines to launch was potentially challenging. So a meeting was called, Chris, with the core 5. The person that's obviously absent from here is Jacques Marais. So he was the 5th at that point. Valissa not in the picture as the core at this stage. So in December, there was lengthy discussions going on around the development. So Chris, very quickly, what happened there that led to a change in the core?
That's when we had a very lengthy call with Jacques. A couple of hours we were on a Zoom call, and we couldn't come to a final agreement with regard to completing the program. One of the big things, which I'm going to say straight out and honestly this evening, one of the big things also which the developer brought to my attention, where he wasn't happy from an ethical point of view to hand the code over. The reason being is because we were migrating 7,909 people over, and the top 3 positions were meant to go into the NPO, which is the GGM positions. And that was meant to go back into the charities, and where we've got over 400 charities on our books, and also to fund Gift of Legacy. You've all heard the figures, the historic debt of what it costs to produce, and obviously getting up to date, and the monthly running costs. And really, really what happened there was the top 3 positions, Jacques insisted on having his company in number 1 position, himself in number 2, and his wife in position number 3. The developer, because he's got integrity, and he said, guys, I refuse to hand the code over unless it goes into the NPO as it was discussed. And on that Zoom call, that's where we could not come to an agreement, and hence making the decision to make sure that those positions go into the NPO, which there are, which is what funds Gift of Legacy. That was the one reason. And the other reason was not finishing the code. And then that's where he stepped back and said, you guys can just launch. And at that same time, we kept to our promise, and we left his positions exactly the way they were. And also, just to reiterate, when we did join, nobody had preferential positions whatsoever. None of the core, none of the leaders, everybody came in on a clean slate at exactly the same level. The day that we launched on the 10th of January, everybody had to join their boards at exactly the same time. So with regard to the program and gifts and our positions and lineages, we are all in exactly the same boat as the entire community, and we insisted on that.
Okay, and that also included Jacques after
Correct.
He decided to step down as one of the core. He became effectively an ordinary member, like myself and everybody, as part of the community, requiring to follow the processes, rules and regulations, systems and procedures, etc., which I'm not going to cover right now. So very unfortunate then that community have been brought into some of the issues around what actually was going on at the time there. And we're going to be sharing some information, as always has been done by Candice and Chris on the Zooms, very open cards. We're going to be sharing some information now from meetings and also from the programmers too. So we want to attack really specifically the allegations which have been laid, which raised, as I've said before, the credibility of the core team and also the stability of the platform, and coming around also to the positions and what would lead somebody, a member, to actually losing their position. So we're going to go through some of that. So what I would like to do, what the core shared with me earlier, was a letter from the programmer at the time. His name is Martin. And I'm just going to screen share quickly. I'm going to show you a letter that he sent. And we do play open cards here. I really would like you to see. So he's no longer part of the development team. He was heading up the development team at the time of launch, and so is no longer part of here. But he's given a letter. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it for everybody. You can see my screen. Yes, you can. Okay, letter of good standing. To whom it may concern, this letter serves to confirm the following. After receiving specifications required from the core 4 leaders of Gift of Legacy, naming, sorry, I'm just getting my screen, Chris, Jenny, Candice, and Hercules, to complete the development of the project named Gift of Legacy gifting activity in December of 2021, our development team was able to bring the gift activity named Gift of Legacy to launch on the 10th of January. The launch of the platform was made possible by the core 4 members who provided us with the material information, the specifications, that we required for months which we had not received. Building the basic platform was a straightforward exercise. There was an IP and is based on the similar concepts generally available. In the absence of any or material information for proper coding, our team had to use what was already available in the public domain. The concept of this gifting activity, Gift of Legacy, is not the brainchild of anyone. The ultimate improvements and changes made was a collaboration input from the core 4, Chris, Jenny, Candice, and Hercules. And this ensured that our team was able to get the platform to launch as previously stated. Further work and improvements are ongoing, but no longer being implemented by our company, but GGM's new development team. To this end, we would like to confirm that GGM is in good standing with our company and that the initial development and launch of Gift of Legacy was duly paid for by the Gracious Gifters Movement. Signed, M. Plichter, the director of the company. So receiving that gives a lot of background information and corroborates some of the things that Chris has been sharing with us about the lack of information being sent. However, as Chris has said, a very strong focus to deliver to the community what was being promised for many, many months. So I'm now going to ask Candice to bring forward and play for us. Candice, you're going to screen share some sound bites from Chris has spoken about the meeting that happened, and the core 4 really believe that it's important the community hears from the actual meeting. Now, it's a very long meeting over the whole day. There's 2 specific clips which are not edited, not played with it anyway, straight out, just so that you can all hear without it being a he said, she said scenario. And from here, you can conclude your own decisions. Candice, over to you.
Okay, so the first clip that I'm going to play is you'll hear Martin You'll hear Nick that he actually got onto the call just to ask a question and then asked him to leave after he answered the question. You'll hear Jacques Marais, and I think you'll hear Hercules as well. And this is to be...
Candace, sorry to interject. Can you just identify the roles of Martin and Nick?
Thank you.
So Martin was the developer that Tim just read the letter. So he was the one that was building the program off the back of the precursor program. And Nick was working very closely with Jacques as well. So this first message, or this first soundbite, was about the specs. So whenever doing a project, you give a coder specs and they work off the specs.
Why didn't we have those specs, Nick? Have we got the correct specs to be able to code and to be able to carry on, or are we a bit hamstrung?
In some of these things, with some of these new things, I don't believe we had all of the specs.
Sorry, Nick. Sorry, Nick. I'm confused now. Are you saying new specs? Why are we getting new specs at the end of the project? Shouldn't we have had those in August?
Yes, I would have expected to have every spec at the beginning.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Nick. Thank you very much. We're going to have to ask you to get off the call and we'll carry on. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I raise my case.
And we need this man.
But Martin, didn't we have Zooms and you knew exactly what to do there? The thing has been, you didn't ask me for those specs. I mean,
new specs, Jacques. New specs. The man wasn't that. Come on.
Okay, the next soundbite is more relating to some of the accusations, so I'm just going to play it.
See, here's the thing, Jacques. Have you ever coded anything in your life?
No, I haven't. This is exactly why I'm trying to do the best I can. But I need you guys to tell me that and everything, and tell me what you need from me so I can supply.
But Jacques, if you'd given us the specs, we could have told you that like really, really quickly. And we're telling you now, it's not a problem.
But I told you, and you said to me again, it's not a problem. Yes, we'll get it done. And I was not under the thinking that I've got to give you anything else. Otherwise, I would have given it to you.
Did you give the spec on a spec sheet in writing, Jacques? Well, any spec for that matter. Did you give it every spec that you need, that the developers needed? Did Jacques hand it over to the developers or the developer, Martin, in writing on a spec sheet?
I actually thought that I'll go and have a look if I did anything towards that. I can't recall, but
Martin, did you get specs written with Jacques sign off?
It was a small thing. It was a small thing and everything, and yeah, it's easy to do that and everything.
It's always best to have a spec sheet handed to your service provider. This is also
the first time that I've ever done this, people. The thing is, I'm trying to do the best I can.
Sure. I'm just saying, going forward, it's always best to have a spec sheet.
And carrying on. Maybe one of you can do a better job.
No, man. It's just a general comment. I'm saying for going forward, you're gonna manage the program. Spec sheets on a spec sheet, and you sign it off and you send it, you follow up. Have you received it? Do you understand it? Do you know how to code what I've written there? Is there any confusion? Tomorrow again. Guys, what I've sent you, how far are you? Da-da-da-da-da. We could have launched by October. That's what Martin said.
There you go.
Right. So Candace, just for a bit of perspective, the first recording was where the programmer or the developer who was part of the team that Martin had brought in was basically saying that this was now beginning of December, just about to launch, that he'd just been given new specs. And this is where Martin was asking him, but why have you got new specs? Surely you should have been given this in August. And he said, well, I was expecting it to be given. And this is where it came up when Jacques was asked, why didn't you provide the specs? And a bit of an and ah. So just to show that the delivery of responsibilities in Jacques' portfolio was what ended up by happening, that Chris ended up by calling a meeting because it was seen that it wasn't happening. So Jacques, the second one is, I forgot my wording where I was going to go. The second one is where now Jacques is basically acknowledging that he doesn't know how to program. He's not a programmer or coder. It is very new to him. And yet, Candice, had you been aware of the status of Jacques' lack of knowledge, or was this completely new to you and the lack of even delivering the specs as then Hercules spoke of? This was new.
He was very clever with his words, and he led us to believe that he could code. So we trusted him when he told us to stay in our lanes. We trusted that he would liaise with the developer, and he was always telling us that he was on top of things. But in that week before we called the meeting, I actually started writing specs of my own, and we handed them to the developer very shortly after the 9th of December, because on the 9th of December, we did not have a program to launch, which should have launched on the 2nd of December. Jacques Marais went on holiday that week.
All right, yeah. So, okay, thank you very much for sharing those information. I hope the community can well, you read into it as you wish from that. So at this point, what I'd like to do is bring Valissa background. Most of you know Valissa. She is now forms as the fifth member of the core five.
Yes. I'm so sorry to interject. May you allow me a minute? I think it's proper and fair. I think it's proper and fair, just for context, to at this stage just mention that despite the fact that we have placed all trust in this visionary and architect, he did go on holiday whilst he was supposed to deliver a program. And in my capacity and in the role that I played as co-creator, I have called him out and asked him, how could he do that? I feel that he has failed us in his level of duty of care. Basically, there was a dereliction of duty of care to ensure that he provides the developers with the relevant material information. And he was not a happy man for me calling him out. And I just want to put that context there. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Valissa, very quickly, who is Valissa? Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening to our beautiful GL family. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening, your morning, or your afternoon. As usual, I'm just so grateful and happy that you guys have given us your time. And who's Valissa? Goodness gracious me. Tim, you really put me on the spot here. You guys know me. I'm one of the presenters in Gift of Legacy. I love this community. A little bit of background about myself. I have got a degree in financial management. I come from the numbers, statistics, financial accounting world. I'm a numbers queen. I love anything to do with digits, ratios, statistics. That's my passion. But at the same time, that's one half of me, and the other half of me is this colorful being that just wants to help everybody. And I wish that my arms were wide enough just to hug the world and just help as many people as possible. My purpose in this lifetime is to help many people grow and achieve their goals in this lifetime and in the lifetimes that follow. So that's just a little bit about me.
Fantastic. What is your roles now as you now become and fit in? Am I correct that you fit the slot that Jacques Marais was in? What is your portfolio or responsibilities as the core five?
Okay. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to the fellow core members that are on this call. Chris, Cans, Herky, Jenny, I love you guys. And I'm so grateful and honored that you guys have welcomed me into the core with such open arms. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to serve the community. My role in the community is from a support perspective. I really love assisting the community achieving their goals within Gift of Legacy, especially when they hit hurdles, as well as I work very, very, very closely with the development team, just coming up with new ways just to make Gift of Legacy better, sustainable, and be around for generations to come. That's the goal.
No, amazing. So you've actually you've underplayed your responsibilities, because you're such a you're such a soft, genuine person. Melissa has direct contact with the developers and holding them accountable on deadlines, timelines, making sure communication is effective and smooth. And to this end, she actually has a letter, I believe, which you want to share with the community, some portions of it from our present developer. Please do understand if you see things which are blocked out, she'll explain to you why this is. And there's some specific points that Melissa felt was important for the community to hear. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Tim, and thank you so much, everybody. For security reasons, I just want to put this out there. We have blocked out the current developer's details, because at the end of the day, he really, really, really is protecting our community. And this is just a letter of good standing from our developer, our development team. And I'm just going to highlight a few words from this letter. Basically, it begins with, to whom this may concern. I was onboarded by Hydrogen Development Team in early January. So you would remember, community, that Chris did read out a letter earlier on from Martin. So Martin actually onboarded this developer onto our beautiful Gift of Legacy community. And he was initially hired as to the team as a contractor. But by the end of January, he then became contracted directly with our amazing Graciously Givers movement, GGM. And ever since then, he's been working directly for GGM. And I just want to say, pause and just say thank you to Graciously Givers movement. Phew, I'm going to get emotional, because family, you guys need to understand that Graciously Givers movement has been funding Gift of Legacy. There have been times where, I'm sorry, Herky, to do this, but you've taken money out of your own pocket to make sure that our website is running, that our developer is being paid. You have made sure that our historical debt that was incurred was paid up. You've made sure that our wonderful developer gets paid timelessly every single month, even when there's no money available. I don't know where you pulled it out from a hat. You remind me of a saying where, money doesn't grow on trees. And it's true, it really doesn't. But Herky, you are the trunk of our community. You are the tree trunk that holds us together. You have got 500,000 leaves that you are holding together in this community. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, I'm going off script, but I just need the community to understand the importance of Graciously Givers movement. And I'm so grateful and so honored that Herky has welcomed me into GGM. And I see firsthand how much good they're doing and how much they're doing for our community. And guys, sometimes there's no money at the end of the month to pay for all the costs that Gift of Legacy incurs. But somehow, some way, Herky, you find a way to hold us. So from 500,000 Gift of Legacy participants, I just want to say thank you to GGM, because truly, I have, you know what, you leave me speechless every day, every single day. So guys, this is the trunk of our community who has been graciously paying our developer for all the development costs. And just to summarize the developer's letter, he starts off by saying that, he joined the development team. There was around 7,500 users from the precursor program. And he explains that the focus of the precursor program was specifically designed for a specific audience, and it wasn't available to everybody internationally, hence the birth of Gift of Legacy. And he also speaks about how, the platform was in a good beta was a good beta candidate in his opinion. So beta, I'm not going to go into too much technical terms, just basically meaning the product wasn't finished. Hence why he's been constantly improving and just making things so much better, guys, you know, and such a joy to work with. And I'm just so grateful that we have somebody who's always has our best interests at heart as a community. I always say to him, you've got 500,000 people's responsibility on your shoulder. And so does everybody that you see on your screen here. And this is just 6.5 months through. Imagine how it's going to be in 1 year's time, guys. Gift of Legacy is all about sustainability and longevity. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Chris, my brother. We've walked a long path together. Thank you, Candace. I met Candace at a beautiful farm, a game farm, a year ago. With Chris, amazing human being. Jenny, you and I had that crazy road trip to their farm. We won't go into details on how we actually stopped on the road and we had a little picnic and then Babsy and Jessie came to rescue us. And Herky, from the first moment that I met you, you've opened your arms, you've welcomed me, you've loved me, you've accepted me. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you.
Felissa, you've told us so much about you in your words and also your passion and your emotions. And I think that really brings across. I don't have anything to say to that. Thank you for sharing from your heart, as well as from the developer who you have an ongoing communications and strong relationship with, ensuring that the right things are being done. So we've covered quite a lot already. We've got quite a bit more to cover. I know we're going to be going over our time. I hope but we're not going to cut it off until everything's been concluded and said and opened up here. Going back to my note shape, Melissa, you've thrown me there. So with part of the allegations that have come forward, we're going to get a bit serious now here, unfortunately, but it's important that it does get covered. With some of the allegations going forward, Jacques Marais positions and others have been taken away from them. Please, can you explain a little bit about the process within this? Why and what happens?
Okay, so, you know, I just want to say that we all as a community, when we've either joined Gift of Legacy for the first time or when we migrated over from the precursor, we all agreed to participate in accordance to the terms and conditions, including everybody on this call that you see on your screen. So it's vital that we all ensure our compliance with the terms and conditions of this beautiful community. And the reason for any suspension of any profile is always due to breach of terms of participation and the terms and conditions in Gift of Legacy. It has never got anything to do with anything as you as a person or as an individual. So I just need that to be conveyed.
So, sorry. The positions that get removed when somebody is not compliant with the terms and conditions or rules, what happens to that position?
Okay, so these positions are then handed over to our Graciously Givers movement, GGM, then takes over these positions and holds them, because there's various reasons why positions get suspended. It could be an unresponsive ledger. It could be somebody who no longer wants to participate, etc. Or in this case, you have breached the terms and conditions of Gift of Legacy. And then those positions get handed over to GGM, who is the NPC.
Okay, great. So it's not as if it goes into somebody else, one of the course pockets. This goes to the Gracious Givers movement, the overall running program of it. And I believe, Candace, you're going to speak about a little bit about cross-recruiting. Is it yourself to just identify to people what cross-recruiting actually is and also potentially the consequences?
I would just like to remind everybody that in the beginning, like Melissa said, we migrated 7,900 positions. So we did not cross-recruit anybody from the precursor program. It's said very clearly on the website when you join, US citizens only. When I was joined, I was just told, oh, don't worry about that. And then I landed up saying that to the rest of the people that joined, as I'm sure the other 7,900 people did as well. So when we brought everyone over, we had the conditions. The first condition was you get your spot for free as a wonderful gesture from us to keep the community together. When you came over, it was expected and required that everybody builds and brings in two to support the growth of the program. When we talk about cross-recruiting, we really expect that when everybody came into the program, they would give their all into building Gift of Legacy. And that is why I worked so tirelessly, because I thought that I had the commitment from the community to do that. We have always said from the very beginning, like most platforms that are out there, that cross-recruiting is not allowed. And cross-recruiting can work in a few ways. It can work getting people from a program to move to another program, but it can also be different teams that have come into Gift of Legacy that are not working in accordance with the guidelines, and then taking people that are already part of the program and getting them to come over to their teams, and thereby they are, you know, abandoning their positions on the boards and creating slowness, which we were never expecting, because the promise we made was to bring everyone over on condition that people play the game fairly with us and help support movement going forward.
Okay. So very important to ensure everybody is aware of the terms and conditions, and that basically you're saying as the core that people will be held accountable, because it does do huge damage to the entire community. So then being held accountable could mean suspension of your position, which goes over to the GGM position. So Hercules, the GGM is very much a passion of yours. You have said earlier on that you actually resigned from your full-time job of career of 34 years, highly successful, I can imagine extremely well paid in a very, very high level position, in order to focus on a passion of yours. So why is GGM such an important role within Gift of Legacy?
Well, Gift of Legacy, we always said, mustn't just be for the benefit of participants. It needs to have a reach beyond participants. And that reach is something like the following. We have recently assisted and supported a man that is paralyzed, that never had a wheelchair in his life, living in Costa Rica. We have assisted a bicycle club, taking children off the street locally here in Cape Town, buying them bicycles to get them stimulated and get them off their bad habits. Those are the things that, with the help of the community of Gift of Legacy, we want GGM to be involved in. We have assisted sanctuaries that were going to close down, and the sanctuary was going to have to get rid of the wolves. We helped, we supported, and that is why, with the help of Gift of Legacy, the gifting activity and this wonderful community, the reach to help fight number one enemy called poverty is so important, and it's close to my heart. I love helping people. I love seeing people succeed. And there was just no doubt in my mind when I was approached by the four at the time, asking me, will I consider heading up this role in the nonprofit that we will be establishing? And it also meant I could come back home, because I was working on a construction project for the best part of 12 years. And it just all fell into place, and it was meant to be. And so, yes, I take on that responsibility, like Melissa said and edified me. I'm really grateful. I do what I have to do because I have a vested interest, not because of the finance, because of my heart and who I am. I'm not a layman. I'm not a master developer, but I'm not a layman. I've got experience working with people, knowing the hearts of people, and knowing what to do and how to treat people fairly, honorably. And that is what I will continue doing for Gift of Legacy until the day I lay my head down and I go home. But until then, I will not be moved. I am unmoved by nonsense. My heart is pure. My intentions are good and pure. And so GGM is keeping on funding the existence of GL weekly, monthly, daily if need be, so that more than 500,000 participants globally can have the potential benefit of abundance. And I will not let one person or one man's ego affect that or take that away from people. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, thank you. In the short time I've known you, I can be good testimony to exactly the type of person you've said you are, and I corroborate that 100%. So we're leading now towards present day. I've had a lot of experience, over 6 years in online platforms, 4 years full-time. I've seen majority fold very, very quickly, and that could be within investment platforms, cryptocurrencies, marketing, online advertising. And for majority, my personal experience has shown that most of them 3 months is the lifespan before they just disappear, they fold. Sometimes 4, but very, very rarely to 6 months. The GL has actually been here. So let's take this experience of what has happened in the last year, round it up, have a quick chat with Candice as to what our deliverables have actually been within Gift of Legacy. Going through a lot of documentation in preparation for this chat, we realized how far we actually have come. So Candice, where are we? What has been achieved? Because it's quite phenomenal. We don't want to lose sight of the good within this chaotic time.
So I'm going to go back to the letter from our developer because he listed it so beautifully, and I probably wouldn't remember half of the things because after reading through that, we all gave ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back because we actually came much further in the 6 months than we actually thought we would. So let's go back here. All right, so let's see, where do we start? Move all the stuff. So there was no CRS policy. We had the inability to scale. The API endpoints were exposed without adequate protection. They were also exposed without specific use case. The legacy code mixed with newer features that did not work as intended. There was inconsistency in the code, a front end which was generally non-uniform and difficult to work with. There was a lack of user security and enhancements. So for example, the 2FA, there was a lack of tests and building pipelines and development frameworks. And in the months that followed, which is what we're talking about now, oh, I've just lost my place, sorry. We were under that, he was under the direction of the core team with priority. So the front end was completely redone with added mobile support. Sign-up errors were reduced with duplicate inputs for email and password. A banner was added on the login to communicate with users more easily. Email notification was added amongst other email services. Board chats, as well as the whisper function. 2FA, as well as email verification on sign-up. Forgot password, Chris's favorite, security improvements. Dependency package security improvements and updates. Email opt-in for non-essential emails. End-to-end encryption and front-end, back-end CORS protection. All back-end API endpoints are either secured by a browser secret or a username, password, and 2FA key. Additionally, many functions, features were added within the platform to prevent abuse, misuse. For example, timeouts between joining boards, Legend can ban an abusive gifter from the board, and perhaps more operations-focused work. A build pipeline to reproduce releases, a release pipeline for dev and production, a test pipeline to run before releases, and last but not least, scalable deployments. And this is only one item, but a tremendous amount of effort was put into this. Also this month, we have joined up with the DevOps team. And I know somebody was asking about promotional emails. So in the next month or two, we will be able to offer that as well. And it's just going from strength to strength. And our focus has always been on making the program sustainable, like everybody has said, so that we can hand it down for generations to come.
Wow, amazing. And when you consider over 400,000 members, $40 million shared amongst the community in 6 months, there's a lot of good that has been done.
500,000 participants, active participants, Tim. Can everybody just start screaming?
Wow,
and
wow.
like
wow.
500,000 active participants. Come on, guys. We can all give ourselves a round of applause.
That happened today, right? That happened today, right?
Correct. Today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That really shows testimony to the strength of the system that is in the background, the algorithms that are created, the whole computer system, everything that goes. I don't know technical stuff, but I do know it's rare to have a platform that's brand new, being developed while it's been going on, that does not close, has not failed once in 6 months. I'm part of communities and programs which have been around for years, which are struggling in 1 year to update their program. Gift of Legacy's not going down. It's as simple as that. So thank you for that wonderful statistic. I'm going to now ask Jenny there to come in. She's going to just chat a little bit about the future vision of Gift of Legacy. That's something very close to you. Jenny. Oh, you got to unmute yourself. Jenny.
Sorry about
Welcome back.
I didn't know. Thank you. Thanks, Tim, and thanks again, everybody. It's been so amazing to see all of you on the call this evening. And, you know, vision is so exceptionally important. But I want to recap. I want to go back a little bit. I always like to start at the foundation and work forward. And I just want to reflect on the fact that as a group of 5 core custodians of Gift of Legacy, because that's really what we are. We are custodians helping and being here for your support and sustaining you. Sorry, I've just realized my keyboard will go flat. My pad has just given me a warning. Sorry about this, guys. Can I just quickly plug in my tablet and find the right?
So Jenny, I'll relieve you. We just want to remind the community that because we are moving over to this DevOps team and there's a whole lot of things that have to happen, we are going to have the website closed for 3 days. Phyllis, can you just remind me of the dates? I can't remember if it was the 1st or the 2nd.
So projected dates that we are going to be offline are from the 1st to the 3rd of August. And we will confirm these dates by the end of the week. And you know what, guys, take a break, take a minute, reflect. 500,000 people, take a moment, take a step back. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you. I sincerely hope that you don't lose me. I hope it's charging. Sorry for that. But as a group of 5 core custodians of Gift of Legacy, we knew that this wouldn't be a walk in the park. We knew what we were committing to. We knew there were going to be difficult times. And sure, we have really been there. We have gone through hell and back. But we committed to Gift of Legacy. We committed to each and every single participant that joins Gift of Legacy. And there's no ways that we will ever renege on our commitments to the platform and to each and every one of you as a participant. There's none of us here. We all have to have a very clear vision and a heartfelt dedication to get through the times that we had got through. And we are all still here. We are standing. Why? It's because we believe. We believe in the beauty of sowing and reaping. We believe in the sacred and heartfelt giving, peer to peer, between individuals who care for each other. We are creating hope, faith, and trust in humanity. We are bringing that back. And we are restoring people's dreams, their dignity, and coloring their world. That's the best part. We believe in the beauty of your dreams, not just our own. And we hold that so close to us. GL is here as a safe and legitimate tool for you to use in the future and to create your legacy that will last you for generations to come. And while you do that, we can only assure you that we are here and we will honor and respect the rights of you as a participant in this platform. And as we've said all along, GL is here to stay. This program is exceptionally healthy and strong. It has survived many growing pains so far, and it hasn't crumbled in this time. And we are here to give you 1,000,000, not 100% commitment, but 1,000,000% commitment to protecting this platform and ensuring the longevity of the legacy. And I'd like you to, for a moment, reflect with me. And in so doing, I want to read a little extract from a message that a participant sent to Candace and blessed Candace with this beautiful message today. And her ending just touched my heart so much. And this is what I'd like you, it's a space where I'd like you to go into. So she doesn't know I'm going to read this tonight. It's from Anonymous. I do not know who sent it to Candace, but Anonymous, you touched my heart, and I'm sure you're going to touch the hearts of many. And she says here, it's not always easy to see, but in moments of stillness, we can feel it so clearly in our heart. And that's why I'd like you to go this evening. We've been faced with many facts, stories, information. You need to do the job of going into your heart, and you need to feel what we feel for Gift of Legacy. And with that, I want to say how much we love every single one of you participating on this.
Thank you for sharing. Wonderful. Thank you for those beautiful words as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the near end of what we wanted to share with you this evening. There's been a lot of emotions which have been shared on shoulders, some perhaps a little bit more than they were planning, but that's just the genuine people who you have here. Hercules, I'm learning to find out so much more about who you are as an individual, as a strength to the community, a strength to the core 5 people, or what I should be calling the custodians now, calling you the custodians. It's an honor, privilege, Chris, who we've shared stages together. We've shared platforms. It's wonderful. Candace, thank you so much for your energy, your heart. Valissa, your focus, your numbers. Jenny, we've got a true team of people who are not going anywhere. It's not one individual. It's a group of collaborative people that are here in order to support and help us. We do as members of the community our bit. They put their bit forward, and everybody just, wow, it's just going to be plain sailing. That, as I've said last week in one of the presentations, in 3 months' time, we're going to forget about what we're not going to remember this, what is dramatic now. That we all as a community go forward, we share the message that's been shared with here. This is open, this is as true as it gets. I know Valissa has got something that she wants to read. And after that, well, Valissa, you've got something that came across to you today, which was close to you, that you wanted to share as well.
Yes, actually, Herky, our trunk, I'm going to refer to him as our trunk, actually shared something with the 5 of us today. And, I think it just spoke to his heart and to all of our hearts. And I'd just love to read the quote. And it just says, everything changes when you start to emit your own frequency rather than absorbing the frequencies around you. So when you start imprinting your intent on the universe rather than receiving an imprint just from merely existence. And I'm just also going to read something that was attached to that. Living with intent is important. The world is divided between those that just go with the current and those that know it should be up to them to choose which direction they take. Be aware of who you are and what you stand for and exactly what you want for yourself. Live with intent, and when you do so, regardless of what others think or what society dictates, is when you are unique and you will imprint in the fabric of this beautiful world, and your life will then begin to fall into place. Take responsibility for your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Look in your heart, make sure they are aligned to the best expression of who you are. This is the beginning of mastering the life that you were intended to live. Yes, it takes a little bit of effort, it takes some determination, and it also takes some courage to do so. That's why most people will rather just go with the flow and just allow others to direct their lives. This is what we always see around us, and it also creates a lot of discomfort. So stay true to who you are, because this is how we win. For those of you who remained with us, not just us 5 on the call, including Tim, 6, or the 500,000 of you, we just want to say thank you. You know what? Jenny spoke about where we come from and how we got here. You know, I'm going to tap back into my co-host, Thandi. She always loves to say, together we achieve more. And I'm going to echo and say, together we elevate each other. Let's all speak the same language, a language of abundance, prosperity, love. This is a heart-to-heart community, guys. We are so blessed to be a part of something in our lifetimes. I still can't believe gifting exists, because I got to pinch myself every day. 500,000 people, 6.5 months, really? Wow. From my heart, I just want to say thank you to each and every single one of you. And on behalf of the core, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, community. Just thank you. Gratitude.
Fantastic.
All around.
Wonderful words, and I think a true testimony to the way we're going to conclude this. I'd like to just open up to the other custodians if there's a final word that they would like to share with anybody, and then Candace is going to play us out with my favorite song.
Yeah, Tim, thank you. I'd like to take the opportunity very quickly and to just inform our wonderful community that they need to understand that we will never ever take decisions relating to any actions that we take for transgressing what we believe are detrimental to the sustainability and the longevity of GL, because we are strong leaders, and the community needs to know they have strong leaders or custodians that will protect GL against all forces and against anyone, no matter your standing within the community. I am sure the community would rather have strong leaders than having weak leaders, just standing by and watching things happen and do nothing. So please, but we will always be fair and we will always be just in what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, stunning words. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Candace.
Okay,
Wonderful.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your...
I'd just like to say something ending off. I would really, truly like to thank you, Jacques, for being my mirror, for helping me see my shadow, and most of all, for allowing me to be strong enough to look after Gift of Legacy without any fear of the consequences of my actions, which I thought where I was doing right by the community. You know, when somebody comes and not only cross recruits your leaders, but incentivizes them, to cross-recruit hundreds of people to get a whitelisted position in the new program, I'm going to stand up for that. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me the space to be in the lion energy of Lionsgate right now, and for standing up for what I believe in, and I know what everybody else believes in, because like I've said before, I'm a custodian of gift of legacy, and I'm here to anchor abundance consciousness into this planet for every single person. So thank you. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you to the wonderful family that I never would have met if it wasn't for this journey.
Thank you, Wingman. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for those words. I'm going to echo on what you said. You know, just I always like to use analogies. If you've got a person that works for BMW selling cars, and somehow they get hold of that BMW database, and on the weekend they're selling Mercedes Benzes on the side, what do you think BMW is going to do to that person? They're going to fire them and probably sue them as well. So anybody that tries to damage gift of legacy, and that is trying to pull people across to destroy gift of legacy, we will take any action that we need to take to protect this community. So just know that every decision we make is not taken lightly. It's taken to protect the community. Every single decision that we make. That's what I'd like to finish off with. And I'd also like to give my gratitude to my core team members. Rebecca, thank you for your beautiful job that you always do. And Tim, thank you for hosting this meeting with us this evening. And thank you to every single person in this community. We would not be where we are without each and every one of you. And I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, everybody.
Great stuff. Until tomorrow evening for our presentation in English, Friday for some unpacking with Candace. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Candace, play us out with our GL song.
Tomorrow we've got Angela and Petra. We haven't seen them for a while, so very exciting.
I'm there.
Hope is all we have, all we need on this journey. Love is what we give when we receive, so keep it burning. Gift your soul and let it be. Soon you'll find your gift of legacy. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. Faith will keep you strong where you belong. Just believe it. Dreams to help you grow, to reap and sow, you receive it. So gift your soul and let it be. Soon you'll find your gift of legacy. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you. I'm ready to color my world, ready to give to you.
Good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your day, wherever you are, on the other side of the world. Sending it up to wherever you are. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We love you guys dearly.